the door.
What door? This is off-road.
Uh-oh. Crazy monster.
Hey everyone, just a quick update. Just have a look. We've got the front bumper over here. We washed it thoroughly with soap and water, and we actually cleaned it up entirely. Now everything you see here, this is not dirt. This is basically scratches in the paint that requires repair. But on a first glance, it does look good. The damage is not that severe or not that bad. To give you a better idea, let's have a look, say for example here. See the scratches? Now some of the scratches, they're just surface. So what we need to do is just wet sand it, and as you do, you unify it. I've got something over here, you see this one? This is actually has a groove in it, so it's slightly deeper than normal. After you wet sand it, you're still gonna have some sort of a imperfection, to put it simply. Similarly over here. So the only way to deal with that is apply some putty, and that should sort it out. But apart from that, everything else looks perfect. Now the idea is wet sand it, repair all the areas that requires repairing. After that, apply the plastic trim primer that we talked about last time, but we didn't actually apply it. We'll apply that, then after that it should be ready for paint. These are the brackets for the fog light from the back. So yeah, so far so good. It's a sunny day, expected to reach 40 degrees. So not only this one got cleaned up, it's gonna dry pretty fast, so I get to actually fix it up. We'll take it from there. Okay, now that the bumper is dry and we brought it into the garage, let's address the elephant in the room. This is one of the tabs that hold on the bumper into the car. Look at it. Now I know it's broken from over here, but this is easy fix. But here's what I want you to look at. See how broken? Whilst the other side, let's just have a look at it. It's fixed. So what happened is, this one is broken. And because it's broken, even if you fix this issue and fix it and hooked it up into the car, the fact that it's loose, it's gonna be a problem. In an ideal world, the best way to do that is to plastic weld it. So you just get a soldering iron and you can use that in order to weld it. But I'm not doing that, I'm gonna do something else. I'm not gonna use the Chinese epoxy, mind you. I'm using this JB Weld. Two reasons: stronger, and it basically, I don't know, it glues on pretty much everything. And also this one. This is the antenna that we got it out. Remember when we said, you see the cracks over here? We need to fix this one as well. I know it's not integral part to the car or anything, but aesthetically, even if I'm gonna paint this one, it's still gonna show the cracks. So the best way to do that is actually to fill it up with JB Weld, and after that you can paint it. So let's get on with that, and hopefully we should be able to sort it out. With this one, it should be easy. Apply some JB Weld over here, and as you put this one, use a tape, masking tape or something, just to hold it into place, and basically that's it. The other one, you just need to apply thin layers on top of it and just basically go with the flow, and that should work it out. Cool. And voila, there you got it. See how the JB Weld is just applied thin layer, just only on the crack. I mopped and cleaned everything around it. Not thoroughly, just a bit, just so that I wouldn't compromise the crack, because now it's getting filled. Once that is done, a quick wet sand, and that puts it into shape. And this is the other one. There you go, can you see it? I put enough, actually more than enough I put. And you apply some tape in order to hold it into place and just leave it till dry. Ideally, just leave it a day, 24 hours. It's a sunny day, just let it bake, move on to something else. While we're waiting for those two pieces to dry, these are the fog light brackets from the inside. I thought to paint them because there was some sort of a surface rust. So what happened is, I quick sand them and I throw a coat of black. That should sort it out. Whilst we're waiting, I figured might as well just start sanding these areas. Just want you to have a look at it. See? This is the Chinese epoxy that we used, and we put extra in order to ensure that everything is perfectly sealed up. Now, because it's extra, we need to remove it. I've already started on this side. Check it out. It's all unified, one shape. Now all the sanding that you see over here, don't worry about it, all the mudding can fix. But we just needed to put it onto one surface, one unified surface. I'll show you how that's gonna work on the other side, okay? There you go. Check it out. Check it out. See? All one. Unified. If you can clearly see, this is the actual hood metal. So we clearly reached the desired surface. The rest, mud will fix it up. Good result. Again, it is ugly now. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out. That's normal. At least we got the extras out. Now we apply some mudding, and after that it should unify and apply some filler. Well, the mudding is the filler. We apply some primer in order to seal it up properly, and all should be good. So guys, to me it's a new day, to you it's the same video. As you can clearly see, we removed the tape from over here. That means because it's already passed more than 24 hours on this one, and it's dry as a bone. Everything is stuck as it should be, and we can easily say that this one is officially repaired. This tab itself will hold the bumper properly into the frame over here, basically somewhere in this area. So now it's all good and well. On a separate note, we did go to Super Cheap Auto and we got our paint. We restocked on paint, a complete full liter. Big shout out to Super Cheap Auto and to my superhero in Super Cheap Auto. You know who you are. Thank you again. And we got also some reducer, and we got, yep, you guessed it, that's a red paint, because we're supposed to try out and paint the fog light grills just to see. Now my idea is I'm gonna paint two separate tones. So I'm gonna paint the grill in red, and I'm gonna paint the frame itself in red. Okay, that way I can put them next to each other and put a vote per se for you guys to see and have a look at it and tell me which one you think is better. We also got the pigtails for the fog light. These are the ones that are missing, so this is basically where it goes into the fog light, and this will hook up to the actual wire. And Super Cheap Auto gave me this one, motor oil, Penrith. Thank you guys, that's awesome. Quick small update. See the fenders, they have their own screws and bolts to hook up and install, and we haven't painted them. There's a quick update on that, on how to paint it. So all what you need to do, just grab yourself one of those cotton boxes, and with just a screwdriver or something, just stick a holes in it and stick the bolts over there. Once they're there, you can easily just spray them. You see, I just sprayed them just like that, and now they're the same color. So what I have to do is basically just use them and put them back in, and they look identical with the same color. Quick update. It's those little aesthetic things that add it add perfection to the car. What we're planning to do today, I'll get this one out of the way, and we're supposed to use the filler and fill this to make it smooth as it should be. If we are done with it perfectly, I might actually go into the trunk, because let me just show you guys. I've done the same thing. I've sanded this area so it's smooth, but it's still, it could use a bit of a mudding just to get it perfect. Those 3 holes, mind you, those are the ones for the spoiler, so we're not touching those. But this area, they do definitely need a bit of a mudding. And since we got the paint, I might actually paint the door jamb for this side. That way we can just put this to bed and seal it properly from the inside, so that we can move on to paint the car from the outside. Let's get on with that. See, that was an easy one. You wax and grease, remove any dirt in the area. Keep in mind, it needed to be sanded before applying it. So I don't know if you remember in the earlier video, we've actually sanded this whole area, so it's all good and well. Wax and grease, remove any dirt over there, then you just apply. Now I went overboard, I went generous. So the area, if you remember, was somewhere here. I basically covered more, and I made sure to over apply filler. Why? Because at the end of the day, we will be sanding it afterwards. So it's always better to be more than less. So this area is done, and this is the other area. All what you have to do is just basically let it dry until it dries. Then at that point, you just need to sand it out. Whatever we've done over here, we need to do it in the back as well, on the trunk. And I don't know if you can see, I've got some imperfections over here. See, this one, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the car out, have a quick look and see where any imperfection, sand the area, clean it up, and apply some filler. This is the onion paper that we talked about last time. So you see, once you're done with that, all what you need to do is just, there you go, and you just peel it off, and you've got a new clean canvas. Ingenious, and it does the job. Now, here's how it is. I'm not gonna peel it off. Once this one dries, I can easily just break it off and break it clean, and I can reuse the paper. So that's another way of saving yourself some money, because this one cost me nearly 40 bucks for just a piece of paper. I think I can just buy me a notebook, a white plain notebook, and that should do the job. I don't know if nobody thought about that before. Let's get this car out so that we can work on the trunk and any imperfection area that might need working on. On a separate note, oh yeah, let's just remember, there it is, also dry and clean and perfect. What I'm going to do now is, probably with the sanding paper, I'll just sand this area to clean it up and make it ready for paint, and throw a fresh coat of black paint on it. That will make it look perfect. Okay, quick update. If you look at that corner, yep, there is some filler over there. Over here, we applied filler, and if you can see a couple more batches, this is because there were a couple dings on the trunk. So I wet sanded them and I applied some filler on top. Once all is done, you can just sand the whole area and apply a slight coat of primer just to protect it. Then after that, once the paint is there, you wouldn't even tell that there were some holes over there. If you haven't noticed, the holes that I've already drilled, technically they're slightly covered, because this is where it gets a bit compromising situation. Either you cover them and ensure that you have a steady, consistent layer all over, or you just try to avoid them, and in that point you're compromising the areas that you need to fix. That's easy. I just get like a small screwdriver or something like that and just dig the holes back again, and that's about it. Everything should be fine. You see, this is one of the holes. The other two, they're somewhere here. I can easily track them from the inside, and that shouldn't be a problem. That also, when you actually wet sand this area, they will show up anyway, so don't worry about them. Now it's only a matter of just leave it till dry. It's a bit windy today, so I want to give it extra time to dry. Oops, see? You see that? The hood and the roof, we're gonna tackle them later. At least we got the trunk done. The hood, we need to look into it in a better place with proper lighting and everything. And this one has a lot of holes in it. What they call them hail damage. Yeah, hail dings, you see? I don't know if you can see them in the reflection. You can see 1, 2, like you see a few dings over here. This basically, with a bit of a filler, you can just cover up the whole area, wet sand it, and it's going to be as good as new. So hopefully everything is fine. This area over here, I got some crease as well. Well, luckily we haven't painted this area, so this area needs to be fixed. As long as with any imperfection over here, you see how the metal over here is showing up, I need to address those. But for now, this is what you need to do. Tedious, small tasks, but they all pour to the overall look of the car. So please be mindful when you do your own project. Pay attention to those little things, because once the paint is done and once you apply the paint, it's only at that point you get to see the imperfections, and it'll be a bit too late for you to fix them. So, as you can see, we're done with the roof. Now, I didn't go all, all over. I've only gone through the pieces or the areas that I think that there is some sort of a hail damage ding or something. Now, if you look at it, that's exactly what I used. This is the method that I basically used. I just tilted my head just a bit in order to see the reflection, and you can easily see the low points and high points. And at that point, all what you have to do is just apply the filler on those low points. Once this one is completely dry, all what you need to do is just basically wet sand it. Again, when it comes to wet sanding, you don't want to apply pressure. You just need to normally just let the sanding block slides, and that's it. So the excess filler will basically go, and the low points will be basically filled. I had another piece over here, and the door got sorted out. Now, when I say sanding block, this is what I do basically. See, it's a piece of plastic shaped like a block, straight. All what you need to do at that point is just put it on top, and you crisscross it. As you crisscross it, it'll feather down the areas, and only the low spot, the one that we filled it out, it will be basically remain there. Anything else basically will be gone. See, do not apply pressure. Take advantage of the fact that it's basically flat and let it do its natural course. Granted, if it's wet sanding, will be better for you. 2 reasons: it'll be smoother to slide it, that's number 1. Number 2, it'll be easier for you, no dust, no nothing, so you don't need to put up with that. Don't go overboard with the grid. I would suggest probably start with I think 800 and see how you go with 800. If not, go 400, but don't go lesser than that, like don't go 200 or something. 80 or 100, that's too rough for that. You don't want to cause grooves on the paint or on the body panel itself. At that point, you need to apply another filler, basically. So why do that? So far so good. I'm just gonna wait until it dries. I'm just gonna get the car out so that I can get everything here out in order to start working on this area. This area needs to be prepped in order to be painted. So whilst it's out, probably let the sun, if there is any sun, it's not that sunny outside, bake it just a bit in order to be easier for me to wet sand it. Anything else? So far so good. Yeah, yesterday, well, to me it's yesterday, to you it's in the same video. Check it out. Freshly painted and gorgeous. So when you put it back in, it's gonna look almost as new. And that's what we were after. Let me prep the car, put it outside, and we'll take it from there, okay? Just a quick update to show you the damage that we had over here, and we applied some filler. See how it looks like now? See how it's feathered from over here? And over here it's almost bare metal. And it feels smooth as smooth gets. This is not the final product, mind you. This is just basically a filler. We applied the filler and we wet sanded it. What we're going to do now, apply some primer on top of this one as well. And once the primer dries, we'll do a quick wet sand. We'll use a higher grit. We'll use like probably 1500. Just so that any imperfection, it just goes away. Plus, if there is any metal, as you can see over here, the primer basically will protect it from rusting in the future. So you see, once it's all done and painted, you wouldn't even tell that there was a damage over here. I'm just gonna wax and grease remove any dirt over there and apply some primer, and we'll wet sand it and see how that goes. See, this is after a quick coat of primer. I know the sun is there, it's not making you see it properly, but if I stand there you go. See? Perfect. Just small blemishes over here, and this is why you apply the primer. So any imperfection, the primer will make it more visible for you. So you'll be able to see it. So all what I have to do is just wet sand this area, and it's as good as new. Okay folks, long day, sunny all of a sudden. What we've done over here, pretty much we need to do it on everything else. We just need to wet sand it in order to make sure it's all perfect. If we ended up with bare metal, we just need to apply some primer on top, and that way basically it clears it up. I'm not gonna bore you with that. Pretty much whatever that we've done over here, we need to do it on the other sides, and once that is done, it'll be pretty much ready for the next phase, which will be the paint. I'll wait until everything is completely dry. I'll quickly wet sand this area because this one needs to be painted just like what we've done on the other side. I guess I'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing if you like what you see, and until I catch you next time, okay? Yalla, take care.